we now try to finish this calculation over here. We did the setup in the previous tutorial over here. Now, if you look at this integral over here, we remember that x and y, these are dummy variables. So after we integrate these two integrals over here, we should have only constants like x bar, h, and b. And then we solve this equation, then we have 0. And then we solve x bar. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Now you may think that in this setup we have two integrals. It might be easier to use the other setup, but I don't think so, because the other integral is by no means easier to do. So let's just be patient with this one and solve this problem over here. Alright, so let's move over here. This is equal to, let's look at the first integral over here. X is a constant because we are integrating with respect to y. So this is what we have. We copy from over here 0, b over 2, okay, and integrate this one. We have simply x minus x bar, it's a constant, and then we have y. When we plug in the upper and lower limit, we simply have 2h over bx, and minus 0 can be skipped. So this is the first integral, which is pretty easy because we are integrating a constant. And look at the second one. The second one we have, this is going to be from b half of b to b. And we do the same thing. What we have is x minus x bar. And then we have this expression over here, negative 2h over here, and bx over here, and plus 2h, and then dx. Okay, now this is what we have. So let's move on, and then for the first integral, let's write down over here. It's from 0 to b over 2, and then first one we have h over b times 2h over b times x squared, and the second one over here is negative x bar and then 2h over b and x, and this is the first integral. And let's look at the second one. We multiplied it out, so what we have over here is the second integral, which is from b over 2 to b, and we have negative 2h over b x squared. And let's try to see what we have over here. Then plus, if we multiply this one and the second one, we have 2h plus x. So we have 2h times x. And when you multiply these two out, we have plus x bar and 2h over b and x. These two terms can be combined, so we're going to do this later. And then the constant term is negative x bar and 2h and dx. Now we are ready to integrate this out, so let's do this part first. So this is now is equal to, integrate this one out, we have 2/3, and this is b over here. Let's be careful. So 2h over b and x cubed, and plug in b over 2 and 0. And look at the second one, and then this is minus, we can see 2x integrates x squared, so we have x bar h over b and x squared, and we plug in b over 2 and 0. Okay, so we do the same thing. Let's just integrate all these things out and then plug in. So this one over here, negative 2/3 and h over b x cubed. Now we plug in b for the upper limit and b over 2 for the lower limit. Alright, and let's turn around. We're integrating these two terms. We can see we have hx2 is the common factor. So this is something we have. We have 1 plus x bar over b, and h over here, and x squared, and we plug in b and b over 2. The last one is simply a constant, so we have minus x bar and 2h, and we have this should be straight, and b over 2. Okay, so let's just be very careful and put these things over here. So when we plug in over here, we have 2 over h and 2 over 3 and h over b, and this one over here is b cubed over 8. This is what we have. Okay, and look at this one, the second one. We have minus x bar and h over here and b, and then we have b squared over 4. Okay, that's what we have. For the last one over here, we have, it's not really the last one yet, but we have, let's look at what we have inside. So this is going to be 2/3 and h and b over here. This is going to be b cubed minus b cubed over 8. This is what we have. And keep going, and plus 1 plus x bar over b, and then we have h over here, and we have b squared minus b squared over 4. Okay. And the last one over here is simply negative x bar 2h, and b minus b over 2 is simply b over 2. And we have this whole thing equal to 0. Okay. Now we need to do the simplification over here. All right. So this is what we have. Let's try to see these terms, the constant terms without x bar. So this one over here, we see it's hb squared, and we have 2/3 and 8 over here. Now look at this term over here. This term over here doesn't have x bar, and we have over here is negative 2/3, and we have 7/8. Now there is another one over here. If we multiply this out over here, this is the third one we have. hb squared is 1/4. This is what we have over here. So we have 1/4. So if we put them together, this is what we have. We have is equal to, okay, we have the constant term over here is 1 over 12th. So we have 1 over 12th. Okay, and this one is negative, and we will see that this is 7/8, so it's going to be 7 over 12. Okay, this is going to be 7 over 12. And then last one over here, we have also 3/4 over here. So we have 3/4. Yeah, we have 3/4. So we have over here is positive. So we have 3/4. And these are the coefficients for hb squared. So this is hb squared over here. Now let's look at the coefficients for x bar. So we have over here plus, okay, and then because everything is negative over here, we actually can use, well, let's just be careful over here. So this is going to be x bar term, and then we have hb, so this is going to be negative 1/4. Okay, and then this term is gone. And look at x bar over here. This is going to be 3/4 hb squared, but we have a b over here, so it's going to be x bar HB again. So what we have over here is positive 3/4 over here. And what we have in the last one is HB x bar is going to be negative 1/2. Negative 1/2. No, just negative 1. So negative 1 over here. Okay. And then the constant term is x bar and HB. And that's going to be equal to 0. Okay. That's what we have. And we add them up over here. This is going to be negative 1/2 plus 3/4. So we have 1/4 over here, and we have HB squared. And then look at this term over here. Look at this one over here. We have 1/2 because it's 3/4, and it's going to be negative 1/2. Negative 1/2 over here. And we have x bar and HB is equal to 0. So if we cancel HB both sides, and this is what we have. So x bar must be 1/2 of B. Okay, and that's the answer we have. This is the x coordinate of the center of gravity. Now, if we look back, we know we got the right answer because this mass over here is symmetric in the x direction, and the center has to be on this line B/2, and we got the right answer. And we can do the same thing to find out y bar, but the calculation is just the same, so we're going to actually skip this calculation.